This is the first video going over the nonfiction text structure notes. To get access to these notes, you will need to go into Schoology and open up the Week 5 folder. The notes will be in the Wednesday folder, and they are the third item down. You just click on the link, and they'll open up. Now you can come over to the top right, and you can then download, and they'll go either to your Google Drive or your Chromebook, depending on where you'd like to save them. Then you'll be able to open the notes and use them whenever you want to on formative assignments or even the final summative. So as we go through the notes, you just need to follow along. There is nothing that needs to be filled in or completed. These notes are just to use on future assignments and tests. Let's start with reviewing with what nonfiction is. Nonfiction refers to texts with factual information. So these are texts that are real and true. Some examples are articles, biographies, the textbooks that you use in your classrooms, newspapers, or books that focus on specific topics, like a book about the weather or a book about World War I. Nonfiction is not stories based on imagination. These are fiction, such as your short stories and novels. We are focusing on nonfiction. Specifically, we're learning about text structure. Text structure is simply the term used for how the information is organized in the text. It's how your author or editor decides to put all of the factual information together. So why do we learn about text structure? If we know about text structure, it leads to a better understanding about how the information is organized, because nonfiction texts are organized to best share their specific information. The authors and editors purposely put information in a specific order so that you, the reader, can understand it better and so you can find the information faster. This allows you again to skip and skim through your nonfiction text, finding the parts that you need and skipping the parts that you don't. So if you know how they put the facts in there, you can go straight to the facts that you really need. There are 6 types of text structure that we will focus on this year: chronological sequential, cause-effect, problem-solution, argument support, compare and contrast, and description. In today's video, we will cover the first 3 types of text structure. The first type of text structure is called chronological sequential. Chronological refers to time, and sequential refers to things being in order, or a sequence. So this type of text structure is used when texts are organized by time or in the order that events must happen. So they follow a timeline. Some examples are your history textbooks, which present the events in history in the order that they happened. Biographies are often in chronological order because they follow a person's lifetime from the beginning of their life to the end or up to current time. You might also see this text structure used in any text where the directions must go in order. So if you're reading a manual about how to put furniture together, it would be written in sequential text structure, which means you have to follow the steps in a specific order. These sequential steps of a process, meaning they must go in order. Certain keywords that you might find in a chronological or sequential text is dates, times, and years. So if you can see different dates and notice that they are in order, that is a clue that it is written in a chronological text structure. Or if it's in steps, like first, next, later, and finally, that's a hint that it is a sequential text structure. Because again, it's all about going in a very specific order. The second text structure that we are going to focus on today is cause-effect. This text structure is used when the texts are organized by identifying a cause, so this is usually a specific moment or event, that led to certain effects. So that moment led to other events that happened as a direct result. The cause comes before the effects. The cause is the starting moment. And because it happened, we notice that other things happened as a result. So we might see these in history textbooks where we talk about how one certain moment in history spurred on a war or certain changes. We often see this in news articles about how one moment that happened caused follow-up results, such as the police shooting of a particular person might lead to rioting and protesting. We had a cause, and then they told us about the different effects. We also see this in science textbooks or texts about experiments, where they try one thing and then see what happens because of it. Some key words that suggest we're reading something that is cause and effect, well, you might see the words cause or effect, or as a result of, or consequently, which means because of. So here in some of the examples, the cause was that the boy blew a big bubble from his gum, and the effect that happened afterwards was it splattered all over his face. We had a cause, which had an effect. The final type of text structure that we're going to cover today is problem solution. In these types of texts, they'll start with a particular problem and present it, and then they're going to show us either how it can be solved or ways that it can be solved. So here's a problem that exists, and here are the steps that were taken that solved it, or here are some ideas about ways that we can solve this problem. So we would see these often in history books where they presented a problem and then explained how different people solved it, or in science textbooks, problems with the solutions that people came up with, the inventions that they created to take care of these problems. Or math textbooks where they're number problems and they show you how to find the solutions. Or even in different articles when they talk about actual problems that exist in the world today and give us ideas on how to fix them. You might see such words as problem, solution, solve, effect, hopeful, and results when you are reading a problem solution text. This is where we're going to stop in this video. The next 3 types of text structures will be discussed in the Day 2 video, which will be in the Thursday, January 21st folder. Now, to review the 3 text structures that were covered in today's notes, you can go back into the Wednesday folder in Schoology and click on the Nonfiction text structure examples. This will pull up a slide that takes you through 3 different texts and then has you deciding which type of text structure is used. Don't forget to make sure these notes are downloaded to your Google Drive or your Chromebook, and that concludes today's video.